Today we got to interview a couple of teachers about the Constitution and what it meant to them. So let's see what they say about
I'm
it.
here with Mr. Steve. How are you doing today, Mr.
How are
Steve?
you, sir? I'm doing just fine.
Doing amazing. So basically, I want to ask you, why is the Constitution important?
Constitution of the United States?
Yes.
Well, it's important because it sets down the doctrine of the rules of how we should govern ourselves. And those forefathers decided that those specific items could help us, even into the future, to determine how we govern, what we decide the rules will be, and how they're enacted judiciarily wise and so forth. So like the First Amendment gives us the right to free speech, to protest, to decide what we want to complain about, act up about, vote for, etc. Those things help us, and each and every one down the line has a specific rule or assignment for us to follow. So I like the Constitution, I like history, so maybe that'll help you, and the next guy will go to Constitution, maybe an article or something.
All right, thank you, Ms. Zarek. How are you doing today, Mrs.
Good,
Zarek?
how are you?
So I'm basically want to ask you, why is the Constitution important?
Well, I think it's important to have a written document of all our laws to make it official and to make sure that everyone has a record of it. And I think it's important because it gives people individual freedoms and rights.
All right. And to you, what would be the most important part of the Constitution?
I think definitely the Bill of Rights, especially First Amendment, basically the first 10 amendments, anything that gives individual rights to people in our society who formerly were marginalized in society, minorities, people with disabilities, especially today in the news, people who don't have a voice need that voice through the Bill of Rights.
All right, thank you.
Well, the Constitution is important because the way that it structures our government has made for a very stable government. So for 200 blah 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 years that we've existed under this, we haven't had much in the way of crisis in terms of whether or not our government was going to keep existing. Whereas if you look at other countries that have like parliamentary systems, there's a lot more volatility. So there are times where the very existence of a country seems like it's in jeopardy. But in this country, even with assassinations, in other countries, a leader gets assassinated and things happen and you think the country's going to explode. We've had that happen, and as unfortunate as those were, there wasn't a question that the U.S. would keep on going. So just that structure really makes the Constitution unique and important among the world.
Okay, and what part of the Constitution would you say you most likely like?
I think, and this is going to sound kind of weird, the way that they set up amending the Constitution, I think, was a really brilliant thing, because you can propose all sorts of crazy things, and there's been tens of thousands of amendments proposed, but only 33 passed, and it shows that to really change it requires an awful lot of work, and people really need it. You can't just decide, I don't like this today, and we're going to go and change everything. So I think that goes back to what I was saying before about the stability. So to me, that's really the best part of it. They made it so that it could be changed, but it was difficult enough that it's not going to happen too often unless it's really, really
I'm
warranted.
here with Mrs. Santangelo. How are you doing today, Mrs. Santangelo?
Pretty good, pretty good.
So I want to ask you why is the Constitution important to you?
I think it's important because it creates a structure to make sure our government doesn't get too powerful. It really protects our freedom.
Okay, and also, what part of the Constitution would probably be most important to you?
I would say the Bill of Rights, the amendments that were added to make sure to protect our freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the freedom, again, from government getting too powerful.
Okay. Thank you, Elias. How are you doing today, Mr.
I'm doing
Elias?
fine, thanks. How are you?
Good. So basically, I want to just ask you, why is the Constitution important?
I suppose it's important for many reasons. The most, it serves as a document to show us our freedoms. How about that?
And also, what part of the Constitution would probably be most important to you?
The typo in the First Amendment to form a more perfect union. Or is that the Declaration of Independence? Well, that's a typo. You can't have a more perfect union. It's either perfect or not. It can't be more perfect.
All right, thank you.